Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Danni, and today I'm back with another video. And by today's title video, you all can see that I am going to be doing something totally different here on my channel. Like I've been saying, I wanted to do certain things here on my channel and open up my channel to be a channel that kind of does a little bit of everything, but kind of like condensed into like 3 different areas, but also expand on those different areas. So today's video is going to be kind of like my chit chat, let's talk videos, and you all can see that I decided to do a review about Tyler Perry's TV show Sistas that airs on BET. So I wanted to do this because I watched the show. I've been watching the show for some time now, and I kind of fell in love with the show. So I always want to like come on here and give my feedback or opinion about the show on YouTube, because I'll do it on social media all the time. So I want to bring that here on YouTube. And I know that I am, you know, kind of behind season 2. We're like 15 episodes in, so I thought about just doing like a review so far, and then once I get caught up, I will start, you know, doing like the weeklies, you know, like every episode. So I'm gonna start off today with doing like a review of season 2, and then hopefully, you know, by this week I will be able to, you know, do individual episodes. So if you are new here, of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And also leave me a comment down below if you are a fan of Sistas and you watch the show as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the video. I've been watching Sistas for a period of time now. I did start watching it first when it aired. I kind of got in it on like the end part of season 1, but for season 2, I've been watching it, you know, consistently, you know, as a regular viewer. I initially started watching the show because of the guy that plays Zach. I had a friend that introduced me to him, and I was like, yeah, I see him on the commercials, and you know, I never really watched the show. So I started like looking at him on Instagram, and him and his family, you know, and his wife, and I was like, I wonder how, you know, he acts on this show. So that was originally the reason why I decided to watch the show. And from the first episode, I was like, oh, okay, this is a pretty good, you know, plot. It's a pretty good, you know, little show, whatever. And so I got interested in it, and I haven't stopped watching it since. And like I said previously, I talk about this every week on social media, preferably Twitter. I'm always tweeting about this show, and I get some form of feedback, you know, from other fans that's watching the show. A couple of my tweets, you know, do get recognized and not go viral, but, you know, they do get, you know, recognized by a handful of people who watch the show. I'm in constant dialogue with people who watch the show. And I even had some of the cast members either retweet my tweets, like my tweets, or, you know, had or replied to my tweets. So at this point, I feel like since I'm kind of, you know, well-rounded, you know, with the show, I enjoy the show. I talk to the fans, I talk to the cast members. I'm just waiting on BET and Tyler Perry to, you know, just go ahead and just put me on as official commentator for the show, because I think I do pretty good at my feedback and opinions about the show. I don't hold back on what I got to say when it comes to the show. So I'm just waiting on them to drop this bag, and let's go ahead and get this thing started. I'm just saying. But anyway, so I do enjoy watching Sistas. I feel like Sistas do, you know, have a good plot or plots, because, you know, it's focused on so many different people. There are some critiques or whatever that I could go into about the show, but that's not what this video is about. It's just strictly, you know, talking about the plots of the show and what happens on the show every week, and all the craziness that we have been experiencing since season 1. Like I said, I'm going to start off with the review of the season so far. We are on episode 15, I think was the last episode, but y'all know Tyler Perry, we got about 10 more episodes to go with this, so I think we're probably good at a, you know, good space. And then I did see that they did get renewed for season 3, so of course, you know, I'll be, of course, you know, keeping up with that as well. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into my review, and then kind of break it down a little bit further on this past episode, since it's still kind of fresh out there. So my review so far of with everything that's going on is that it's a lot going on. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to go ahead and break it down character by character, so that way it won't be like all over the place until we get to the most recent episode, and then I can break down that episode. So we're gonna start off with my good girl, Andi. Whew. So Andi was my least favorite character on Sistas. She just was the character who I don't think I'll be able to be friends with Andi in real life. It's beyond, even like the whole thing that she had going on with Gary. That was one thing within its own, but also like her ego and like her attitude is very ugh. And I don't think I'll be able to be friends with her. But this part in the past, so far in the season, Andi seems to be going in somewhat of a different direction. I do feel like it took her forever to finally get to the point where she's at now. And that's what, I guess, trying to forget about Gary. But you can see that she, of course, you know, tried to use Paris to like get her mind off of that. But of course, we all know that she wanted Gary. Personally, I still do think she wants Gary. And it's just that if you see Andi from the beginning of season 2 up until now, you can kind of see her plot kind of taking a twist. I feel like her story is kind of, you know, getting back, you know, to the back burner, and the other girls' plots are starting to, you know, come to the front. So far with Andi and her issues with Gary, I feel like at the end of the day, like especially like the episode when she was giving the money back and she was like so sad and then she was crying and they was, you know, around her and surrounding her and supporting her. That couldn't be me. 'Cause I'm like, girl, you put yourself in this situation. I'm sorry, but you want to be a fool, and so now you're a fool. That's something I won't be able to support. But I'm going to go ahead and let y'all get y'all little crying out so we can move on from Gary, because I'm tired of talking about him and I'm tired of seeing you go back and forth with him and his wife and whatever the case may be. So I feel like with Andi, she knows what she's doing wrong, but it's like she has everything that's going for her. She has the job, she has the money, she has the, you know, nice condo or whatever. And so she feel like Gary was going to be the final piece to her like perfect puzzle. But it's like, girl, how can you think that this man is going to be here for you when he was married from the beginning? Like, how do you fall in love with a married man? Make it make sense, because I don't get it. Like, he's never going to be all for you. And not only that, Andi let Gary manipulate her in so many ways. She let his controlling manipulate her. Like, how do you overlook how controlling and jealous this man is and you never call him out on it, but you always want to jump down Danni's throat and try to call her out on something, but you can't call out Gary and check him? Make it make sense. That's another reason why I couldn't be her friend. And we're gonna get to them and Danni in a second. But it's like, you always got words for Danni. You always got words for these lawyers that's your job. You always got words for people who quote unquote disrespect you or have something to say about you, but you can't never check Gary when you already knew he was married. He has shown you how jealous and controlling he is. He bruised your ribs, and you still have the nerve to sit here and cry about this man because you love him. Baby, love ain't that deep. And I feel like Paris was there to help her get her mind off of Gary. He could have been that person to where she see what a real man was like. Even though I think Paris may have some dirt about himself, but I feel like it probably can't be as bad as whatever Gary put her through. But she ignored that and she only used Paris. Because y'all seen that she invited Paris over and Paris was there to protect her. Him and Gary got into a whole fight. And she still told Paris to leave and let Gary stay. So at this point, with Andi being so stupid, I just checked out with the girl. I'm like, how you gonna be this stupid and you expect for me to empathize with you because you crying about giving his money back and you still love him? Like, no. You're past that. I don't see it. Like, you get no empathy from me. Your character gets no empathy for me about this entire situation. Speaking of Gary, I don't know, I feel like he just needs to tell the truth. I feel like all the truth needs to come out, and then he go ahead and handle whatever it is he gotta handle. I do not think Gary is truthful. I do think he's lying. He is hiding something, and he's talking about he gonna leave. How you gonna leave? You got all these cases against you. Tell me he leaving to start over in DC. How, sir? You got cases, charges. How you gonna leave? Maybe we'll find out in the next 10 episodes, but I don't see what that means. But I do think Gary does have more to his past than what we have said to, you know, here. I do think there's way more going on with him. Moving on to Sabrina. So Sabrina's an okay character for me. I see the good in Sabrina. This season, we kind of thought that Sabrina was gonna, you know, kind of take her relationship with Calvin further. But we all see that, you know, she still has reservations about certain things that Calvin does. As far as like his feminine side, how he's not as masculine as she would like. So we see that interferes with her real feelings towards Calvin. And how she tries to, you know, push him off to the side because she's scared to... I feel like Sabrina is scared to accept Calvin because of what people may say about her, including her friends. The way they judge Calvin, she never shows how she really feels about him. Whenever her friends are out here dogging Calvin out, she always just sits and listens. She never take up for him in facts of like putting it, like making it known, like, no, you're gonna stop disrespecting him. Like when she takes up for him, she still says it like in her soft voice. But we know Sabrina can get loud, so I feel like she needs to start getting loud with her friends whenever they try to downplay Calvin. Whether he like wears lace panties or he likes certain things done to him or he's friends with certain kinds of people. Whenever her friends try to use that against her and calling him twinkle toes and stuff, she doesn't stand up for him. It's like, how can you want to be with this man and like this man, but if you hear people talking down on him or judging him, you don't say anything to, you know, defend him. Like, you need to be very stern in the way that you check those people that's, you know, talking about your man. Cause I really do think Sabrina likes Calvin, but she doesn't like him because of what people may think about her or say about her for dating him, or what people will say why they are dating. Like they will, you know, have like their little side jabs or whatever. So that's the issue that I have with Sabrina, is that she doesn't defend Calvin in a way that I think she should. And we know Calvin wanted to be exclusive with her, but she doesn't want to be exclusive with him because she said they just met. I don't believe that. Like I said, she doesn't want to be exclusive with Calvin because she's afraid of what people may say, or more specifically, she's afraid of what her friends may say when she decides to, you know, be exclusive with Calvin. And that's just my thoughts on that. The whole Jacoby dude, I don't see it. It's something about him. When he first came on, I thought he knew Lorenzo because he came out of nowhere, and then like he had tattoos and stuff. He just gave me a bad vibe. I'm like, why? Who is this new person coming in here? You know what happened to Maurice or whatever. Like, I don't trust him. I really do think he knows Lorenzo more than what he say he does, and I don't really trust him in terms of trying to get with Sabrina. I don't think he's the right person for Sabrina, but I do see that they are using him as that example of maybe she will start talking to Jacoby and she's going to see that he's this, you know, not the person for her. Like when y'all remember when Calvin told her, like, what you need me to be the type of man that smack you and stuff like that. I think that's what they're going to try to paint Jacoby as, and then she's going to see that, okay, this isn't what I need, and she's going to try to go back to Calvin. But I don't think Calvin's going to, you know, initially take her back off the rip, because we see he's moving on. We see he's moving on. We see he's like dating other women, but we still see that he still likes Sabrina. But I don't think Calvin is going to continue to wait around for Sabrina. And speaking of Calvin, was I the only one who was hoping Calvin really wasn't on drugs? I know y'all ain't got Calvin out here being a crackhead. I like, Tyler, I know you lied. You is not gonna have this man being a whole crackhead. So I'm glad the drug test came back negative, but I was like, this is what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna have Calvin be no whole crackhead. And so the thing about Calvin, since we're talking about Sabrina, I think Calvin is a nice guy. He is very feminine. But I feel like if Sabrina really likes him, then she needs to like look past all of that if she really, you know, likes him. And I don't think Sabrina is a judgmental person. Like I said, it's her friends and other people who are judging this man. So since they're judging him, she's gonna judge him, which I don't like that, because if that's gonna be the case, she's never gonna find the right man for her. I do think, you know, Calvin is probably, you know, a nice guy. He was raised different. he was raised in ways that a lot of people weren't. So of course it's going to be something new and different to people. Do I think Calvin is gay? At first I did. I'm not gonna lie. When the show first came on, I did think he was, you know, kind of on the down low. But I don't think Calvin is gay. I just think he is, you know, he grew up with 2 gay dads. So I could kind of see how, you know, how they, you know, kind of, you know, interfere, you know, with his upbringing and who he is as an adult. But I don't think he's gay anymore. I love him and Maurice's relationship. Maurice is hands down one of my favorite characters on the show. Maurice brings the laughter to the show. The way he talks to Sabrina, you know, so some people may be, you know, vulgar, you know, inappropriate, but I mean, hey, that's how they talk to each other. I love Maurice's character. He gives us a different insight on the show, but not so we don't have to be so focused just on the women. Like, so I like, you know, how they bring Maurice in there and Calvin in there, and they're like bromance and different things like that. I'm so glad that Maurice handled Lorenzo, but I do not think Lorenzo is done. I still think Jacoby got something to do with it, because I'm still trying to figure out who took Lorenzo to the bank. Like, if Lorenzo drove himself, why did he get out the passenger side? And so if somebody was on the driver's side, they never did help him while Maurice was beating him up. That's neither here or there. Okay, so now moving on to my girl Danni. Danni most definitely is my favorite character on Sistas. The fact I love Danni is because Danni don't sugarcoat nothing. Sabrina and Karen, they like to sugarcoat and, you know, try to just, you know, tell like baby Andi, but like Danni gonna tell you how it is. And that's why I feel like Danni is the outcast of the group. I do not like how any of them treat Danni. I do not like how they look down on Danni. I do not like how they try to make it seem like Danni isn't this or she doesn't have this. I hate the way they speak to her. I hate the way they treat her. I do not know why she's friends with them. I hate the way they treat her. But if you really think about it, Danni is the only one who has her life together. And the reason why I say that is because Danni's going to own up to everything she does. She's not going to hide anything. She's going to tell you like it is. Even when it comes to herself, she knows she smokes weed. She knows she's broke. Like, she knows all that. But she going to keep it real with you. Whereas all the 3 of them are all hiding their information. But Danni, she's the only one who's going to just own up to herself. Like, yeah, I'm broke. So can you going to buy me a drink or not? That's why I respect Danni so much out of the entire friend circle. Now, when it comes to Danni and this whole situation with her and Preston, him calling her gal, me personally, I didn't see anything wrong with that, but I've never been in an interracial relationship, so maybe I'm not, you know, caught up to speed on how that's supposed to go. But we see Danni, you know, always, you know, helping out Zach and, you know, being that person for Zach, because Karen, you know, at times wasn't a person for her. So that kind of showed you that Danni is always their ride or die. Whenever people getting out of line, she gonna check the men. She gonna check Gary so many times. She look at Aaron funny. Like, Danni gonna be that friend, you know, they gonna have your back at the end of the day. And it's so crazy how the rest of the girls don't see that Danni is like y'all true friend, but y'all want to treat her so bad. And it's just crazy. So with Danni and Preston, I feel like she's scared about Preston because he's a white guy. And, you know, she's also too scared what people may say about her dating a white guy. But you can kind of see her opening up to Preston more or whatever. And, you know, trying to, you know, fulfill, you know, or go further in a relationship with him. The whole being mad at him and for calling her gal and sleeping with that bartender or whatever she did with that bartender, I felt like that was such like a low blow for Danni. I was like, Preston really hasn't done anything but treat you with so much respect. And he told you from the beginning that he's never been with a black girl. He told you from the beginning that you have to teach him how to say stuff or teach him how to do things, which I agree with. If he never been with a black girl, then you tell him certain things. You tell him, okay, well, you can't say this, you can't say that, but you don't say it in a defensive way. If you're willing to be with this person, then you're going to have to also be willing to help them and also make sure they learn about certain things that have to do with black women. And so I feel like she tried to do stuff to make it seem like Preston is the bad guy, but it's like, no, Danni, you're kind of the bad guy in this relationship because Preston is trying. Like, he's trying to understand you. He's trying to understand what it is that you like, what it is you don't like, but you keep pushing him away. But as the season has gone on, you can kind of see her and Preston kind of, you know, their relationship get better, and also see that, you know, they have like maybe something that can, you know, eventually turn into a real relationship. And the way that she treats Zach, I do love her and Zach's friendship. Zach, you know, sometimes tell her like it is, even though he's kind of thrown off. And of course Danny tells him like it is. And Zach and Danny kind of, you know, hold each other accountable, you know, check each other. You can kind of see they may get mad, but at the end of the day, they're going to also do what it is they need to do. So far with Danny, of course, you know, is the one who is behind the scenes kind of when it comes to plots, because she didn't really have too much of a plot. Her plot has only been Preston, and her plot hasn't been as sticky. Although, but it just started to get sticky, you know, in this more recent episodes with Preston brothers coming to her, you know, calling her all kind of, you know, racist names and different things like that. So now we're going to start to see her plot come to forefront and see how she's going to have to deal with his family. I do think that his brothers are going to come back, and I also think that we're also going to meet more people of Preston's family, because we need to also get into his story as well. And so now I think there's going to be something that happens between them to where ultimately Danny's going to have to decide if she wants to be in a relationship with Preston despite him being from a racist family. So I definitely kind of see their plot coming to the forefront now, and it's also, you know, kind of getting a little, not sticky, but starting to get, you know, a little bit, okay, let's see where Preston comes from. Let's see how Danny's going to handle this with the brothers coming in and her running them over. Even though they, you know, beat Preston up, I do not think it's over. And I think also there's going to be a huge test in their relationship. As I saved Karen for last because I have kind of like a mouthful for Karen. Karen used to be one of my favorites. I was team Zach and Karen. I did love them together. But after... let me just say this. Zach was wrong for what he did to Karen. He was wrong for constantly cheating on Karen. But I feel like that's all we knew in season 1 and like season 2, that Zach cheated on her. Which of course, don't accept no man cheating on you. But now in season 2, we're starting to see that Karen also had her dirt. She may not have physically cheated on Zach, but the verbal and emotional abuse that he said she gave her, you know, like always saying that he wasn't nothing, he was never going to be nothing, but, you know, so kind of like belittling him as a man. So we kind of see that they both had their dirt, but at the end of the day, Zach was wrong for cheating on Karen, and them going back and forth, and he constantly cheating on her. If that was the case, then, you know, she should have let him go. But the fact that she kind of kept taking him back, it was like, okay girl, he getting comfortable. So if he see that he can cheat on you and still be back with you just like in real life, he gonna continue to do it. But also with her, you know, belittling Zach and saying how he ain't got nothing, because we seen her say that in season 1, talking about, yeah, go on your little bite. Like, that's one thing about women and men. Like, I do not like when women talk down on men. Because I feel like at the end of the day, a man is a man. And you're not going to, you know, you're not going to, like, try to take away their manhood. And just belittling a man when they're supposed to be the protector, the provider. And you see talking about they ain't S and they ain't gonna be none yet. Look at him on his little bike and cuss him out. That was kind of harsh, you know. And we kind of see Karen do that in season 1. And that when she, of course, you know, met Aaron. Now, my whole thing about her and Aaron, I don't trust Aaron. I don't like Aaron. I think Aaron got some dirt on him. And we waiting to see what's going to really happen about this whole credit card situation. Because Aaron has something. He has more behind him. The whole his ex-wife coming in there, stalking Karen, then blowing her brains out in her salon, and her brother coming to try to kill Karen, and Zach taking up for her and stabbing and getting stabbed, and she still goes back to Aaron. I'm not gonna lie, when Zach took that that knife for Karen, I really thought they was gonna get back together, because they were saying, you know, I love you and stuff like that. I like, okay, bet, finally, they gonna get back together. But she still went back to Aaron. And I feel like, I honestly feel like Karen, girl. Before I get into, I told you I got a mouthful for Karen, okay? Because she really pissed me off these past couple episodes, and I no longer like her. She's my least favorite character. She outdid Andi, and I never thought anybody was gonna be able to do that, but she did. I honestly feel like Karen still loves Zach, and we're gonna get into that too, because I know that's what happened in this week's episode. Karen still loves Zach, and I feel like Karen has been trying to get over Zach by getting over Aaron, by getting with Aaron, but Aaron does not give her what Zach gave her. If y'all look at Karen and Aaron together, what do? They just sit there. They just sit there and just look at each other, or look if they're at the club somewhere. Like, their relationship is boring. It's boring, and like their dialogue is boring. Like, their conversation is awkward. It don't even have to do with them not doing anything sexually. Their entire presence around each other is just boring. It gives me nothing. So that's why I'm like, Karen, what do you think you're doing here with Aaron? I'm not sure what you think you're doing, but this man's wife took her own life. Her brother tried to kill you, and you still with this man, and y'all don't have anything to show for it. Like, even though y'all getting to know each other, y'all dialogue is boring. Y'all conversations is boring. Y'all don't have nothing to talk about because he's a pastor, allegedly. And y'all just don't have any, it's just boring. So it's like when I see them together, I'm like, Karen, girl, you really think you're doing something with Aaron, huh? Like, you really think you're doing something? You not, sis. Like, you're not. And so I think that Karen used Aaron to try to get over or get at Zach. But she's only doing that because she doesn't want to go back to Zach. But at the end of the day, I feel like Karen still loves Zach. But I feel like Zach is completely done with Karen, especially after this whole entire credit card situation. Karen is also a character who's kind of like Andi, who walks around like her don't stink. Karen thinks she has it all, you know, but she don't see her own flaws within herself. Yes, Zach cheated on you, but she don't see your own flaws if you belittling this man and basically, you know, taking away his manhood by saying he ain't nothing. Like, you don't see that part of it. You just see Zach cheating on you. Even though, look, I don't condone cheating or anything like that. I don't. Like, I don't condone cheating, but now it's kind of having you thinking like, okay, well, did he cheat because of how you treated him as a man? Not saying that gave him a reason to, but now that we're seeing more of how their relationship actually was and how she talks down on him, it's like, okay, well, did he have a reason to cheat? Not saying that men should have a reason, but it's like, okay, is this why he did this? I was saying, yeah, so I think, you know, Karen is trying to use Aaron to help her get over Zach, but I do not think that she is over Zach, as we could tell in this past episode. And yeah, she's like one of my least favorite characters now, and it's because of everything that has happened. And even though, you know, Zach did his wrong, I feel like Karen kind of did worse, you know, the same things that she's doing and how she's moving about this situation. So yeah, that really turned me off from her. I do not like her anymore. Like, yeah, she's like my least favorite. So since we're talking about Karen, let's talk about Zach real quick. Like I said, Zach, you know, he didn't have his life together, you know, as far as being committed to Karen. If he really loved Karen, he should have, you know, did what he has to do as a man. But like we said, with Karen belittling him as a man, maybe that's why he stepped out. Who knows? And, you know, he kind of got to this point, you know, where he wanted to get his life together. He wanted to move on from Karen after, you know, especially after the hotel scene when the bellboy had took him to jail. And he knew that, you know, if he go to jail, then that's it, because, you know, he has been in jail before. And, you know, he was able to get out. And at the meeting, you know, he met Fatima. And Fatima told him, you know, if you need anything, just let me know. After she had hit him with her car, you know, while she was riding his bike or whatever. And I think that Fatima is who Zach needs right now. Fatima, one thing about Fatima, I'm glad they gave her a bigger role. It seems like Fatima is a woman who's about her business, who knows what she is as a woman, who knows that a man can never tell her what to do about herself, about her body, or anything like that. Like, she calls the shots in anything. And that's why I think Zach needs Fatima in order to, you know, be level-headed. No, I do not believe a woman should be there to basically, you know, hold a man or try to, you know, force themselves to like build this man up. But in Zach's instance, from him coming from Karen, I feel like him being with Fatima, just like her positive words and different things like that, it will help him boss up on his own. Not necessarily her helping him boss up, but I do think she's gonna have to help him, especially with his legal troubles in a way. But I feel like just like her words and like her affirmation towards him, and how she, you know, she talks to him and different things like that, just hearing those things from her, that's gonna cause Zach to boss up. And I cannot wait until Zach bosses up and Fatima's right there, and then something happens between Karen and Aaron, and she tries to go back to Zach, and she found out everything that everything that we've been knowing about Zach and Fatima messing around. Also with Zach, I do think Zach is trying, but at the end, I'm not with the whole thing about a woman, you know, taking care of a man in terms of making him be a man, if that makes sense. As a man, Zach should know what it is that he needs to do as a man, as far as being a provider. He can show, he can protect, but you just can't protect me physically. You gotta protect my heart. You gotta protect my emotions. And you also have to provide if you want to be that man that, you know, women take seriously. And I do think that his story is going to kind of turn in a way. With everything that's going on, I do think he's going to get past this or whatever. And I think that Zach is going to be a completely different person. And he's going to, of course, you know, attract Karen back to him. But like I said, I do not think he's going to take Karen back. I hope he doesn't take Karen back, especially off of this she just pulled. I hope he doesn't take her back. And I hope she gets her karma, because I feel like Zach got his karma. Him being arrested and stuff like that with the whole Karen and the hotel thing, I feel like he got his karma, you know, for that, and, you know, for Karen leaving him and different things like that. But I also do think Karen is going to get her karma for how she has treated Zach, and how she tries to make it seem like Aaron was this much better man than Zach. I do believe Karen's karma is coming. We're just waiting for it all to unfold. I kind of, you know, just wanted to, you know, kind of review all the characters, you know, and different things like that. And kind of go into, you know, detail about each character. It's kind of like a review of everything, because like I said, y'all, we are 15 episodes in. So I didn't want to start all the way over from episode 1. I just want to kind of give like an overview of my take on the characters so far. And then now we can go ahead and move on into the individual episodes, starting with this past episode, which is episode 15. This episode, I do think this week's episode was kind of slow. I don't think it, you know, picked up into the end of the episode. This week's episode wasn't as interesting, you know, as some of the other episodes have been. It was very slow, but I think, you know, with Tyler Perry, he has like his slow episodes to kind of leave you up to like the big booms or whatever. But this episode was definitely one of those episodes. So we started off, of course, you know, with Danny seeing Preston on the floor after his brothers had beat him up, you know, for taking up for Danny basically. And I think this part of the relationship for them is kind of to show how far their relationship can go and how much it can take with everything that has been going on behind the scenes. It happens in the episodes that we see, it's like Valentine's Day or something like that, and we see, you know, Andi come back to her apartment with flowers everywhere and, you know, different things like that. And Gary sent all the flowers. At first I thought she was gonna take the flowers. I'm glad she did. I'm like, okay, Andi, look at you progressing, girl. So it also ends up, you know, calling the bellboy to come and get all the flowers out. And then she learns that everybody is talking about her business. So that's one thing that I was kind of happy to see. Because Andi is also one of those people who act like her don't stink, even though she was messing with the married man. But it's like, ma'am, people are talking about you. You are the talk of the entire apartment building. You are the talk at your job. So if you see all these people talking about you, that should give you an epiphany or something like that you need to get your life together, and you need to leave Gary in the dust. I don't care how much you love him or whatever the case may be, leave that man alone. Because even whatever comes out and you turn out that he was innocent in the situation, he has shown you how controlling and jealous he is as a person. And how can you be with someone in a relationship that's like that? No. Make it make sense? No. Sorry, but no. So just leave that man alone, you know. And, you know, they introduced a new character who happens to be the son of the guy that owns the building. I found it ironic that he had like a long speaking part. Even if he was there for a second, I'm trying to see if they're going to somehow maneuver him into the cast as well, or into some type of love interest for Andi, because I can guarantee that she's going to bump into him again. So I'm trying to see if they're going to try to do something with that whole entire, you know, situation. And then, you know, we also see Calvin and Marisa at home. Calvin is getting ready to go on for a date, and he's talking about Sabrina because he saw Sabrina and Jacoby together. And y'all know how I feel about that. I think Jacoby is there to show Sabrina that this ain't the type of man you want to go after. I do see that Calvin, of course, is going to, you know, go on by his man. Because, of course, he's a man. Men can kind of get over things a little bit quicker than women can. For some reason, I don't know why. But you can see, you know, him going out and dating different things like that. And, you know, like Maurice told Sabrina, like, leave him alone. Like, if you don't want to be with him, like, just let it go. But you know Sabrina really does care about Calvin. She just, of course, doesn't want to take the heat that's going to come with her dating him that her friends, you know, may give her or whatever. And he's, of course, you know, Calvin, of course, is kind of like, well, she wants to be with Jacoby, then let her be with him. Blah blah blah. So I think somehow they're gonna possibly run into each other or something like that. We already know how this is gonna go. They're gonna bump into each other on different days, and they're gonna be in their feelings. Blah blah blah. They're gonna make up, and that's gonna be it. And then we also see, of course, we see, you know, Zach and Fatima and their whole steamy scene, which a lot of people I saw on Twitter was actually waiting for. And I don't know, I just feel like Zach really does like Fatima. I really do think Zach sees that he can be the man that he needs to be for Fatima. Cause I feel like Zach is using Fatima as a starting over face. And at first it seemed like he was trying to like let his past and his insecurities like interfere with that. But it was like, bro, let it go. Just start over with her. Stop worrying about Karen. That's what she said. She said this is the no X zone. Like, let it go. We ain't finna talk about that or whatever. And so I do love Zach and Fatima together. I do love them together. Like I told y'all, I do love them together. I'm rooting for them. But we do see some shenanigans that's going to happen in the hands of Karen. Because y'all know a couple episodes, Pam told Karen that Zach had used her card and did so many charges. And Zach ended up confronting... Karen ended up confronting Zach at work and throwing his granddaddy stuff out and slapping him and stuff like that. And that's my whole issue with Karen. Like, Karen knows Zach did not use her card. She knows he did not use her card. She know that boy didn't use her card. She know he didn't use it. So it's like, even though his name is on there, you know he didn't do that, talking about he used your money. And the reason why she's saying on that, because she still thinks Zach is this broke on the streets. But it's like he's not. He's going to work every day. He's doing this real estate thing. So he's actually getting money. Or if he ain't getting money now, he's working his way up to get money. So the reason why she thinks that he stole her car, because she still thinks he's this broke on the street that he was when he was with her. But Zach is in a different place now. So that's why she's automatically like, yeah, he did it. And then she might also think he did it to get back at her for being with Aaron. But baby, he busting down Fatima. He ain't worrying about you no more. So he didn't do it. People on Twitter do think that it was Pam and her man. Cause you know, who is this man? Like, why was he coming up the way? You know, when Tyler Perry try to introduce people, they gonna have some type of connection, you know, going on. Like with Karen's mom boyfriend, he ended up introducing Zach to the same thing. So people think that's who stole it. I think Aaron has something to do with it, because y'all know him and he know Gary now or something like that. Something like that. He used that money to help Gary out. You know, Gary is a whole scammer. I think Aaron is a scammer. Some people think Hayden did it to kind of get back at Zach, but it's like, how does Hayden know Karen? That hasn't been brought to any of our attention that they know. It shows like, how would he know to use Karen card? It either has to be between Pam or Aaron. And then what's so crazy about it is that Karen went and filed a police report, knowing that Sabrina said, and she told Sabrina she will wait until Sabrina said, well, let me call somebody, I know somebody at the bank, Let me call them and they'll give the footage, but it's going to take her a couple days. She bypassed all that and went to the police station to have a warrant for this man's arrest. And it's like, Karen, that's when all my respect for her, eventually all just the little that I had left for her, it went out the door. Because like, Karen, you know Zach did not take your money. Why would Zach take his money when he know that if on his third strike, he'll be in jail for a long time? Why would he willingly do that? Zach has moved on with his life. Karen supposedly has moved on with her life, but y'all see, Aaron told her that she still, you know, like Zach, and she do. Cause they sitting there in the bed together. You know, y'all, they don't have no conversation. Their relationship is boring, and they're not even doing anything because he's, you know, celibate and different things like that. And she's just in the bed because that's something that she wants, and she know that when she was with Zach, she could get it anytime she wanted. But now that she's with Aaron and he's putting a halt on it, she's kind of like, dang, like, I tried to move on with this man to get over my ex, but he can't even, you know, satisfy me in those areas to where I can fully get my mind off of him. Because her mind can't fully get off of that because she's missing the one thing that he can do that Aaron can't do for her. So, of course, her mind is going to wander. And that's what Aaron told her. She talking about she don't love Zach. She's still in love with Zach. She still wants Zach. She's only using Aaron to get over Zach. And I just can't wait for it all to, like, blow up in her face. She knows Zach did not take her money, and for her to rush that police report after Sabrina said to wait, it's like, really, Karen? It's like, you really finna do this like this? Like, that's what we really about to do. And then we see the episode ending in Zach driving, and the same cop who put out the warrants, the same one who arrested him. We see him as Zach for his license and registration. And then he told me he got a warrant out for his arrest. And now we see that Karen is going to be the blueprint all for this. And I really think so that's like basically like everything that happened this past season. I mean, this past episode. I think how it's going to go down is, because we see in next week's episode, right? Fatima called up Karen at the end of the episode, was like, hey, can you do my hair? And Karen's like, yeah. So they're going to be talking. I do not think Fatima's going to know who Karen is at that moment. Or they're not going to talk about Zach at that moment. What I think is going to happen is that Zach, of course, is going to call Fatima. We know he's going to call Fatima because Fatima ride or die. She going to get him out. He's going to explain the conversation with her. And then Fatima... If I figure this part out, y'all, I'm need for y'all to come back to this video and give me my props. But Fatima is gonna get him out of jail, and Zach gonna have he gonna get a bond. It's gonna take time for them to prove that it wasn't him. He gonna get a bond, so Fatima gonna bond him out. So while she bonds him out, he gonna like, well, I need a lawyer to help me out to get these charges on me because it wasn't me. Fatima gonna be like, oh yeah, I know a lawyer. She gonna hit up Andi. Andi gonna figure out, or she gonna, I don't know, she may not tell Andi right then and there what the man's name is, but when she brings him in to meet with Andi, Andi's gonna find out that Fatima is dating Zach. And once Andi finds out, she's gonna go back and tell Karen. That's how I think it's gonna all come out, is that this is gonna happen to probably in the next 2 to 3 episodes. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. I think they're gonna drag this whole Karen and Fatima Zach situation out, possibly until the finale. No, I don't think until the finale. I think on the finale, we're going to get a bombshell between Aaron. Because we're going to find out who he really is. Because I don't trust the man. I don't even think he'll pastor. We haven't seen this man pastor not one church.